Valentine's Day special live stream, I guess. Ish. Because I'm dressed sort of Valentine's themed. I'll show you. Get it to stand up. So this is my outfit. So I'm wearing my purple jacket, I can't remember if I've shown you this outfit before. I really can't remember. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Oh, it's going. It's a shame I can't lighten it up. Ta-da. So I suppose this is kind of how I looked today when I went out, but I wore my black coat instead because it was quite cold. I mean, it's milder than it has been. It's been freezing cold. It's been milder, but it's still not warm enough to go out in this coat, which is quite thin and cold. So I've just put this on for the benefit of the stream because I think it looks really nice with this coat. It looks better with the coat than it does like on its own because it's kind of boring. But I'm pretty much wearing pinks and purples and stuff, but I can't remember if I think I wore this for you in the last stream. I can't really remember. Maybe I didn't live stream while I was out today because I don't know. I think it's because I had to go to McDonald's and there was loads of people around. It was hard to talk. But anyway, I've pretty much had to go to McDonald's because I was dead late, and I had 2 meals because so I went to the checkout thing and I said, can I have the $1.99 meal deal thing, which I've got a voucher for, but she refused to do it because I didn't have the voucher. I don't know where it's gone. I've not removed it, but it's disappeared. I had it in my wallet for ages, but it seems to have disappeared. But the last time I went, they did it for me anyway because the meal deal was on, and all you have to do is just order the 2 things that's in the meal deal, which is a cheeseburger, fish fillet, and the chicken burger, and fries or a salad. So if you order those 2 things, surely that should still count as the meal deal, even if you don't have a ticket. She did it for somebody else because they said, I want blah blah blah, and they said, oh, I'll do that for you in that meal deal, that $1.99 deal that we've got on. And I said, you've done it for another person before that didn't have a voucher. But no, she refused. She just basically said, oh, you can have like small fries and small burger. But I didn't hear her, so I didn't know what I was getting. I thought I was getting a standard cheeseburger, you know, a big one, and the normal sized chips, whether it be big or medium. I don't know which one you get normally. I think it's medium, the one in the red box, rather than the paper bag. But the one in the red box, so that one's the medium, I suppose. So I thought I was going to get medium, and I thought I was going to get the big burger, which I wanted, and I thought I was going to get a cappuccino. But she was like, oh, you know, if you want a cheaper option, I'll give you the small fries, a small burger, which I didn't hear her say, by the way. So I thought she was just agreeing with what I said I wanted, just the burger, fries, and a drink. I said, what drink you want? I said, you know, cappuccino. I said, can I have one shot? For some reason, she suggested the flat white coffee, the milky coffee or whatever it's called. Hi, thank you. I thought she said she said flat white coffee. So I said no. You know, I'd rather stick with the you know, the cappuccino, because I know that I like the cappuccino. But then when they called my number, which was 30, and they said, oh, small fries and small burger and flat white, I'm like, is that me? Because that's not what I ordered. It's kind of implied that that's what they were going to give me. So I guess I went over there and grabbed it, and then was like, oh, okay, well, I'll try it anyway. Thank you very much. I'm wearing my plum tights. And I'm wearing the blue boots that I got for a present with it, which you can't see because it's dark. I forgot to put my freaking shorts on, though. I've got shorts on underneath this. So it's not like I'm just wearing tights with knickers. I've got shorts on underneath, but I totally forgot. Like, I normally just wear shorts for warmth, because no one's going to really see me because, you know, I'm wearing a coat, so I didn't take my coat off the whole time anyway. But I usually just wear shorts for warmth anyway if I'm wearing tights. But oh well. It doesn't matter so much because I'm wearing a long top with it. You're not really supposed to wear tights on its own. People thought that about leggings years ago, didn't they? Because my friend said that. She said, you're not supposed to wear leggings without a skirt or something. I And I'm like, yeah, but it's a costume. We were wearing leggings to connect. Anyway, bloody glitch aside, don't know what's happened there. She's like, oh, you're not supposed to wear leggings without a skirt. And it's like, look at everyone now. Everyone wears leggings without a skirt or shorts. But anyway, so it's like, but it's a, first of all, no one's gonna see us because we're in the house. It's a costume. And second of all, it's a costume. It wouldn't look like a costume if you wore a skirt with it or whatever. And our friend went, her sister and my other friend said, oh yes, but it looks more poodly this way. More poodly. She's very cute. She looks at it. It looks more poodly this way. It doesn't look as poodly with a skirt. So at first I just like went along with it because she said that you can't wear leggings without a skirt or something. But that, you know, so I went to find some shorts because this was when I was a kid and I used to just go along with what people said, even if I didn't think it was right. I used to just go along with everything as a kid and a teenager. So I was like dead gullible, I suppose. But so I did that. But then when Hannah, the sister, said, "Oh, it's not poodly. I'm not wearing." It's like, "Oh yes, I'm not wearing it either because it's, you know." It's like a bloody costume, though. I should have been like, oh, what is this? A costume? It's not a fashion show. We're not actually going out dressed like this, are we? You know, it's not a proper outfit. It's a costume. But it's ironic because now everybody wears leggings without a skirt or shorts. But I know that even in this day and age, I'm pretty sure it's still kind of frowned upon to wear tights without something else on over the top, whether it be shorts or a skirt. I'm pretty sure you still have to wear shorts or a skirt with tights because they're more see-through. But then again, if it's anything to judge from last summer, where I actually saw a girl wearing her bloody knickers, not shorts that look like knickers, actual knickers, black knickers. I have the same knickers, so I know it's definitely knickers. And I don't go out in them alone. Obviously, I wear them underneath my clothes, so technically I do go out in them. I suppose anything goes in this day and age. Like, I suppose I can't say, well, you can't wear tights without anything on, because, like I say, I saw a girl wearing her knickers. So if a girl can go out in her knickers alone, then I can go out in tights that are see-through where you can see my knickers. Like, there's no difference. Jesus Christ, my chat is just full of people saying hi to everyone. Also, hello. So we'll probably get interrupted in a minute because this kettle is going to be loud. So you might not be able to hear me anymore. Just let me know if you can still hear me though. I'm wearing my tail as well, this one, because I can't get to my purple one. You can't see it because of my thing. It's very loud. It is loud. I'll take you away. So while we're waiting, you can look at the decorations. So I've lost all my decorations. I reckon they're in the rat room, so they'll all be contaminated or ruined. So this is what I've done. And I'm going to show you my presents. So I'm just going to flip it so you can see it. 1 minute. Okay, so that's a Valentine's thing from last year. From the Heart Foundation. That's a bear I gave my mum. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's my bear and she's stolen it. That's a little chest that contained a present. It's empty right now because it's in my bag. I'll show it to you in a minute. That's the card my mum made me, which is really small and cute and very nice. Now, the design inside is very nice, but I don't really want to show it you because it contains my actual name. So I'm just going to try and open it and just show you the bottom bit, I suppose. I'm going to try my best. It's very nice. It's too nice not to show. So I'm going to try and just show the bottom bit. So that's the design inside pretty much. But the top bit contains my actual name, so I'm going to try not... Oh. That I bought from Nicer that my mum said, oh, you sure it's not from an admirer? And I'm like, no, I bought it myself because I don't have any. Nobody sends me anything. She's very rude. Very disappointing. I always hope people will send me shit every year, but they never do, so... And I got that for my mum, but I thought, oh, it'd be nice for decoration as well. I got that from a supermarket that I'm not going to mention because they ain't advertising it, so... I got that because it was cute and I thought it'd make a nice decoration. That is a card my mum got me last year. Now that's just a thank you card. Sorry, I don't want to show you that one. That's a card I gave to my mum last year. The card I gave to her this year is in the living room. It's so annoying, they keep curling up. And that's some chocolates that I got last year. It's gone so dark. Oh, there you go, it's gone bright again. And another gift that my mum got me was this. Goose. Call them goose. Which has got a Valentine's Day sort of theme going on. She got me 2 of those, I wasn't expecting 2. They're very nice, but I always get a reaction from them. My lip blows up every time I have those. I don't know why. I'm okay with other chocolate, but for some reason those, my lip gets a lump on it. So cute. Yeah, it would be nice to receive shit like this from someone, but oh well. See, I'm not like other people where they're down on Valentine's Day just because they don't have a lover. I think it's just nice anyway. A day to celebrate love. Even if it's a love for a pet or a parent or a friend. I don't see it for just being for lovers. So I don't know why everybody's always down on it if they're single. It's like, why can't you just appreciate it for what it is? I love it. I don't give a shit. I've always loved it. Ever since I was a child, I've always decorated for Valentine's Day, and my mum's always got me something, and I've always got her something. Or we've made cards for each other like that one. So I don't see why other people can't just do that. I don't know why. They're like, oh, I don't have a lover, so it's not for me, and oh, I shouldn't do anything special for it. It's like, why don't you just do something special? I'll just put that there. I'm just gonna get the present 1 minute. I've got 2 that are not here. So one of them is in my wallet. And the other is in a bag that's out in the hall, so I'll have to reach. So I carried these with me today. So this was in that box. It's a pocket hug. I don't know what it is, it's just like a wooden circular thing in a little pouch. So when I go out, I take that with me. My mum used to be in a wallet. I said, oh, but it says pocket hug, I'd rather it be in my pocket. But she said, oh, if you put it in your pocket, you're going to lose it. Like, yeah, more likely to lose it in my wallet. I actually nearly did today, because I dropped the damn... I opened it and it was upside down, because I can't always tell which way up the damn thing is. So, I opened it and it was upside down and it fell right on the floor, underneath the table. So yeah, more likely to lose it in my wallet than I am in my pocket. It wouldn't have fallen out if it was in my pocket, so... I mean, don't get me wrong, things have fallen out in my pocket, but only if I put my hand in to get something and I happen to... something gets caught on something else and it ends up freaking coming out with the thing I've actually pulled out, which is very annoying. So that's the little display, because like I say, I've lost all the decorations. I'm convinced that they're in that room, the boiler room, where the rats have infested the place and contaminated it, so I'm sure they're in there. I haven't really looked because I don't like going in that room, but I'm sure that's where I'll last. So I've had to just do what I can with the decorations, so I've just got not to be spread out, at least in this room. but they're all on there because I've only got so few. If I spread them out, they wouldn't look very good, would it? I just said I went to McDonald's. Fluffy tail. Yeah, it is cute and fluffy, isn't it? I made a digital card and apped it to my girlfriend. Oh yes, speaking of cards. So not the traditional greeting card now, but credit and debit cards. Yeah, it does look good, doesn't it? I'm really quite proud of that. Quite a lot of, I suppose, adverts and stuff saying that because of this COVID era, we are now going more digital money and cards. So more people are using cards and they're being encouraged to use cards rather than cash. And other digital money, like I suppose PayPal and Cash App and Google Pay and that thing, Bitcoins and all that shit, e-currency shit, which is worth all, I'm pretty sure. So all the world has gone bonkers for this electronic money. But that does not exist in the local shop. Apparently, if you go in the local shop, a certain, I don't know what you call them now, a person that works there anyway, a certain person that works at the corner shop, the local corner shop, that doesn't apply to. He actually hates if you use card. He would prefer you to use cash. And he goes ballistic. And when I used to go in and say, can I pay with card? He used to say, oh, it's better if you paid with card, get cash out in future. But then he stopped sort of doing that and he allowed me to, he stopped going on about it for a while. And he used to get really angry with people. Or just, he was angry in general. Like as if he was in a bad mood. And he would take it out on you, and it's like, oh God, do I have to be... Anyway, so he's been fine for a while, and he's not moaned about the card for a while, the card thing. And he sort of allowed me to do it without giving me a hard time. But just recently, fortunately, I accidentally entered the wrong pin. Like I said in my last stream, I entered the wrong pin by mistake. And he got, oh, you have to concentrate. So instead of discouraging me from using card, now he's like telling me off as if I'm a child getting distracted and telling me to concentrate. And it's like, dude, I'm an adult, you can't tell me to concentrate. That's so degrading and rude and talking down to me-ish. Like, what the hell? So I didn't appreciate that. So because I wanted to avoid this humiliation, because it is humiliating when someone like tells you off or points out a mistake you've made. Like, it's okay if they said, oh, it was the wrong pin, and then just leave it at that and be like, oh, okay, and then try again and use the right pin. But instead he had to just go on about it and say about how, oh, concentrate. Like, you don't have to do that. Just to say it's the wrong pin and I'll do it this time. But he was like, before this happened, he was like looking into his shop, like past me. And he was like, it was as if he was expecting these customers to come, because these customers but they were busy shopping, they weren't even ready to be served yet, but he was like, he was expecting them to come to be served, and he wanted to hurry me along. Cashiers and shit would be patient, and if something went wrong, it would be like, oh, no big deal, it didn't work this time, try again, whatever. But he just gets impatient with you and gets upset. I don't know whether he's like this with other people, or it's just me, because he likes to pick on me or something. I don't know, because I've not seen him with other people. I do know that he was short with Brad once when he went in, because he tried to pay with card and he went, like, was having a go at him or something. So I assume he's like that to other people. Especially when he's in one of his moods. So for this reason alone, I kind of don't want to shop there, because he's not the one directly serving you. He's always the one that sort of you have to deal with, ironically, when you want to pay with card. So you've got this cashier here, and then down the bottom end there, you've got where you have to pay. I don't know why they can't use the cash machine that's Is it card machine? I don't know why they can't use the card machine that's on this till. But they never do. I asked him about that. I said, why can't I use that one? And he was like, oh, because a certain amount or whatever. Something to do with it being a certain amount. So I guess if it's a small amount, you can use that one at this cashier thing. But if it's a higher amount, you have to use that one at the end. It's like, that's the stupidest. They should all be the fucking same. That's the stupidest system ever. It's like they should all be the same. They should all accept big payments or little payments. That's what they're for, the card machines. They're not, oh, this is the little payment card machine, and oh, this is the big payment. That's stupid. But anyway, so unfortunately, if it's a bigger amount and I'm being served by someone else that's far more friendly, they'll be like, oh, do you want to pay with card or cash? And I'm like, card. And he's like, oh yes, down the bottom there. And I'm like, oh no, it's him. It's him. I've got to deal with him. No. I wonder if he watches this. I don't know why you're so funny with me. If you're watching this, you know who you are. Well, I don't know why you're so impatient with me. Is it because you think you can pick on me? Because I'm, in your eyes, a woman, I guess. No offense, I know this is like, again, I suppose I will get penalised for this, but these people are very, in their culture, it's more like the man is the high up and the woman's like the lower down. That's just how it is. You can't say I'm discriminating or whatever, because that is how it is, isn't it? Like, even in this day and age, they're like that. So I wonder about it, because he is the, does think of women as more lower class citizens. So he's like that with me because, again, in his eyes, I'm a woman. So it's like, I wonder about that. I mean, the others are okay with me. Well, having said that, there is this other one, this other cashier that's there, that started out really friendly and quite bubbly, a bit quiet, but still kind of, he'd smile and he'd say hi and he'd say bye and he'd laugh along with you like if something funny happens. But then he went funny on me and he was always, and he never said anything. He just had this stiff face on him. So I don't know what's happened with him, because he was fine at first, but then later on, he was like friendly again and bubbly, and he'd smile and he'd say hi, but then he's gone back to being like that again. So I don't like being served by him either. I've tried being nice and friendly. I've tried smiling. I've tried greeting him when I've seen him, and when he's seen me, I'd rather be like, I'd rather ignore him anyway. So I probably will from now on. To be honest with you, I'll probably avoid the shop anyway for a bit. My mum says I should just shout at him, but to be honest with you, I just don't want to have to deal with that. I might be cowardice, but oh well. I'm not good with confrontation, so I'd rather not have to deal with it, to be honest, because I know I'll just, if I feel like I've said the wrong thing, or if I have said the right thing, but then depending on how they react, I'm just going to be like, oh, I feel like shit about the whole encounter. So I'd rather just not deal with it at all, because I know that I'm going to feel like hell afterwards. So I'd rather not deal with people who are awkward and mean and nasty. Even if everyone's telling me I should stand up for myself, I just do not feel comfortable with it. I know it's stupid, but I always say the wrong thing. I always react the wrong way, and I just don't want to have to deal with, beating myself up afterwards, because I will do. If I feel like I've handled a situation wrong, then I will beat myself up afterwards. It's like with that woman. I'm beating myself up about it. I was polite. I should have told her straight to fuck off. It's none of your business. I should have, when she kept going on about it after I told her the deal, and she still was like, oh, your dog's disgusting. Your dog's disgusting. I was just like, all right. You don't have to keep going on about it. And then walked off. That's what I should have said. But instead, I just kind of ignored her. And now I feel bad for not standing. Or they best me again. Like, maybe my response is good, but then they say something else and it like bests me. And then I feel like shit, anyway. But then I also feel like shit if I don't stand up for myself and I don't sort of give them what for, because then I think, oh yeah, they'll think that they can keep doing it and get away with it if I let it slide or don't react in a more angry way or stern way. So I beat myself up either way. So in other words, I don't want to deal with people. Let's not do that unless they're nice. So I need some kind of, what is it, telekinesis or something, where I can kind of tell if they're going to be nice to me or not. Because if they're not, I can kind of avoid it. But if they are, I can be like, oh yes, okay, let's do it. Or if I know what they're going to say or be like, beforehand, I can my response, because I'll be like, you know, beforehand I can my response, because I'm better when I already sort of prepared, like I know what they're gonna say. But if I don't know how someone's gonna be with me and then they suddenly act funny with me, it doesn't happen often enough for me to expect it. Most people are generally friendly and are sort of civil. Like, even if they're not friendly, they're still sort of civil, and they don't make you feel stupid, or make you, or say something whereby you have to defend yourself. So the few and far between times it does happen, it takes me by surprise, and my instinct is kind of panic, but also, oh, just keep being polite and just, you know, go along with it. And it's like, oh, this is not right. What they're saying and how they're treating me is not right, but still, what do I, and it's like panic mode. I'm like, what do I say? I actually don't know what to say at the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, if someone straight out sort of started swearing at me and shouting at me, I probably would give it large back. But if they kind of do it in a passive aggressive way, like they're not directly being like nasty, but they're obviously belittling you and talking down to you or whatever, it's like, it's terrible. Oh, maybe I need to argue with people more. Don't worry about them. What a gobshite post office bit. Yeah, bad service. He's a prick. He has a cash machine outside, must be costing him a fortune. He must want you to... What? Weirdos, I suppose. Well, he is weird. I think there is something wrong with him, probably. Adrenaline. He shouldn't have to deal with it. He should be more polite to his customers. Or he should be fired otherwise. I have told him off. I've told him off. I did confront him and tell him off once. It did go well, actually. He actually gave my address to somebody, to one of the customers. He gave my name out while I was right there, and told a customer where I lived who was kind of creepy, and I'm like, And at first, you know, I did my usual, I don't know how to respond to that, and I just kind of went along again with it. But when I came back, I told Mum about it. She said you should tell them off for that. So I did. I dreaded it, like I was... But I went in and I told him off about it. I said, I have something to discuss with you. Luckily, there was nobody there, because I know if there was people there, he'd probably be like telling me to hurry along. So luckily there was nobody there, and I managed to say everything that I wanted to say. And he was actually he was actually scared. He was shitting bricks. Scared. I don't let people be mean to you. That's the problem. I probably won't. People will seek out weak people and make them feel bad. Oh, thanks. So you're saying I'm weak then? That's what I do. You shouldn't have to do it. Yeah, so I think I could go in there and see if he's there, and if he is, then just leave, so I don't have to deal with him. Or I could just not go there again, because I already had like a break from going there. I had a break from going there because the owner told me off for recording in the store, because I obviously was live at some point when I went in the shop, and he told me off for this. He said a customer told him about it, actually. So this is one of the customers, I guess, one of the people around here that knows about my account and, you know, see my videos from around here. So I tried to ask like who it was, how did they get it, how they've got my account, how they know about my YouTube channel and my, you know, my videos. He just gave the explanation that you know, well, people see YouTube videos, they pop up in in their home screen. That's how they probably found it. I'm like, I don't think so. It seems a bit random. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure there are other people around here that have YouTube channels, but their videos don't pop up. And even if they did, like, pop up in my, I won't know it's, like, someone from around here, unless I recognise the area that they're... I don't know. I just think it's unlikely that my videos are just going to pop up in people's news feeds. Oh, got an itch. Little bastard. And then... So that very day that he was telling me off, there was some hooligans in the shop, and they were calling Wolfie and they were howling at me. And I said I was actually recording at the time, and I said I record for my own safety as well, because whenever I go out around here, more than likely anyway, I'm going to get harassed by the hooligans. So that's another reason why I record. And I have on occasion been harassed in the shop, in his shop. So I will continue recording in the shop. So he told me off for this, but he didn't tell those kids off for harassing me right there and then. They were harassing me in the shop. Right there and then, right in front of his nose, and he didn't even tell them off to leave me alone or whatever, like to cut it out. So I stopped going there for those reasons. But I decided to start going again. But now I think I'm going to stop again. Because there are other places I can go around here that I can get the same stuff. Not everywhere does my mum's cigs, but I know one other place that does it. I just don't want to have to deal with him. If I didn't have to deal with him, that'd be fine. There's no point telling him. There's no point reporting him, because they obviously don't do anything about him. Watch Elm Chanted Forest. It's called Baron Burr actually, but it's a similar name. He sells them their drugs, the Wolfie people, I mean. I don't think he sells drugs there. Probably that shop next door does. I don't know. You said that the shop next door smelled like drugs, so probably just someone that happened to be smoking drugs going in and out there. I don't think the local shops sell drugs. I know one in Ashton that openly sells them, because they sell drug paraphernalia and they've got them in the window, like, obvious. So yeah, I'll probably stop going again. I don't even know why did I start going again in the first place? I don't know, really. Because it's easier. Oh, I guess. I like ranting, it's fun. Selling weed. No, I mean ranting. It's fun. Also, I'm tired. These people bum me out. These people bum me out. Okay. Now, let's get on to story number 3, 2? How many have we talked about today? Talked about my outfit. I talked about the poodly thing and the leggings and everything. The poodly thing with my friend. I talked about the Valentine's Day presents, the decorations. Let's talk about how I offended a trans person today. Hey. By accident, of course. As usual, like always, I say something out of innocence that's taken out of context. And taken as something offensive when I've actually just talked about or said something to me that seems innocent and normal. People do this all the damn time. So I'll tell you about it. 1 minute. Let me just get a thing. A tissue, my nose is running. Okay. So once upon a time. Discovered that I had a trans male friend on Facebook. So I tried talking to him. And then I realised he'd commented on one of my things before on a post where I tried to oh, okay, fuck off then. Went from 8 views to just 4. How rude. That didn't take long. They drive away crowd very easily. So it was supposed to be a sort of fat acceptance post, body positivity post. Of course, I got no likes for it, even though I've got fat acceptance or fat admirer sort of people on my Facebook. But nobody liked my post. I was just saying, you know, like about how skinny people, I don't know why skinny is so sort of popular but fat isn't, and I don't know, I said something about that. But the Alexander person, oh sorry, I didn't mean to give his name out. The trans person, sorry. I just blurt these things out. Well, there's loads of people called that, so it's not like I really gave anything away. It's not like I gave him last name, so can't get upset about that. Anyway, so this person commented on it and was like, whatever. Like, oh, you know, like acting like I'm discriminating against skinny people now and saying that like all body types are beautiful, like both of those are beautiful. They actually weren't. I actually used an example of was ugly. I'm not gonna lie, this skinny person had no shave, like all the ribs were sticking out. It didn't look good at all. I'm just saying I don't know why that's considered attractive, but that isn't, sort of thing. That's what I was trying to say in my post. But anyway, I didn't realise it was that person that posted. That was a long time ago. Well, I didn't realise. But anyway, I tried to talk to this person in PMs because this person looked cool. In fact, he looks a bit like Jeremiah. He's got like the funny, fluffy, sticky out hair and everything. Kind of like the similar sort of build and look, like in general. So I thought he was cool, so I thought, you know, we could be friends. So I started trying to talk to him. But of course, he completely ignored my messages, so I didn't think that was very nice. So anyway, I saw some posts from him whereby he was talking about having top surgery. And I thought, I saw another picture of him shirtless. So obviously he's not had his top surgery, but he does look very convincingly male because he's been on steroids for a while and he does look like a man. And I was just quite curious because he didn't look like he had boobs. He looked flat-chested like a normal man. But for some reason he had like edited, I don't know what you call it, like where you draw on a picture to obviously get rid of the nipples, you know, so you can't see them, sort of thing. And it was just like a line of ink, you know. Again, when you edit a picture via your phone, you just draw over it. It was like just a line going across here. And because it was such a thin line, it was like, I can't actually see any boobs. So I thought, oh, maybe being on testosterone shrinks your boobs, like even if it doesn't get rid of them completely, which it did look like he was flat-chested. I will say that. I thought, oh, well, you know, I'll do that, you know. So I was just curious. I thought, oh, I'll ask about it. I tried to ask, like, does being on testosterone shrink your boobs? Like, people before has said it doesn't. But so far, all the trans people that I've seen on, I was going to say steroids, testosterone. I'm going to sit down, hang on. I'm sick of standing up now. All the people so far that hasn't had top surgery, that's just been on testosterone, to me look flat-chested, or at least like they've got very small boobs that is still can be disguised. Because I don't know if people agree or not, but I personally don't want to risk having surgery. I'm terrified of it, unless I have to have it for a medical reason. I'm terrified to have it, so I am actively looking. And I tried to tell this person this. I will get to the point, don't worry. I tried to tell this trans person this, that I'm trying to look for any like way that I can at least shrink my boobs so they're not obviously fecking woman's boobs. Make them look more man boobish, or at least small enough so I can disguise them by wearing a chest binder, because my boobs are so big that even a chest binder does not disguise them. Like I've said, even at my skinniest, when my boobs were the smallest, and I wore a binder. So I am trying to find out whatever way I can to be able to shrink them without having surgery. I mean, it looks like there isn't a way, apart from losing weight to the point where I'm so skinny that I look anorexic. So it looks like there isn't a possible way, but I'm still searching before I make the drastic decision to have at least a breast reduction. I'm trying to avoid it, in other words. You know, I'm trying so hard to avoid it. So I know my mum won't approve. For more reasons than one, mainly because the recovery process means I won't be able to look after her and be her carer. So that's a thing. And also the risk factor with any surgery. I don't actually know how, I don't see what risks that would be posed from having your boobs off or shrank, but, you know, there is possibility that it might happen, that there might be a risk. So I was asking this person about the testosterone. I was trying to ascertain whether the reason why her breasts were smaller was because she was on the testosterone. I was trying to ask this question, but she wouldn't answer. Sorry, he wouldn't answer it for some reason. He like skirted around it and just started going on about how testosterone would just react differently to different people and blah blah blah, you know, that sort of thing. Like it's different for everyone, everyone's different or something, but didn't really directly tell me. And then even proceeded to say that testosterone shortens your life, or could shorten your life. Not sure which it was now. So I said, oh, that sounds a bit risky. I'm not sure I want to do that. It's messing with nature a little bit. And I kind of knew that that was probably going to do it. But yeah, he pretty much said that that was offensive because I said it was messing with nature. And I was like, how is that offensive exactly? I'm just saying that it would be messing with my body, my personal body I'd be messing with. It's like when you take a medication, it's messing with nature, it's messing with your body chemistry. So your chemistry is already a certain way, your brain chemistry, your hormones, your body chemistry and hormones, they're a certain way. And then when you take something that's blood or fat or whatever, like you're having a blood transfusion, it could either alter your body or be fatal. And that is what I call messing with nature. But he took it to mean that I meant that transitioning, you know, gender transitioning was against nature and it made him a freak or something. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to say that if you change your body in any way, it's messing with nature. You weren't born that way. You weren't born to sort of accept, your body wasn't born to accept a certain drug, medication, blood transfusion, testosterone if you're not the testosterone gender. You know, it's like your body is a certain way, and if you put something foreign into it, I tried to explain this to the person. I just said I was talking about me anyway. I wasn't talking about him or anybody else. I wasn't talking about trans people. I wasn't talking about anybody specifically. I was talking about me and how I don't want to mess with my body's nature. Whatever that be. Whatever that be. If my body is made up a certain way and at the moment I'm healthy and not having any problems, I don't want to risk putting something foreign into my body, such as testosterone, or drugs, or medication. You know what I mean? And surgery is another thing. That's another thing that's messing with nature. Your body is a certain way. When you have surgery, it changes the nature of your body in a certain way, whether it be in looks, chemistry, hormones, your organs, so on and so forth. It's messing with your natural body. That's all I meant. I mean, obviously she took it to mean that I am disapproving of you transitioning. It's like, no, that is not what I mean. Well, anyway, so I explained all of this, and he was really nice about it, but he sort of said something that did irk me a bit. I don't have it here in front of me, so I can't really say specifically, but He was very nice. He wasn't like horrible or nasty, but he actually said something that sort of triggered me a bit. What did you misunderstand? I don't see it. Yeah, he did. I don't know. I obviously didn't mean to be offensive. I was just curious. See, that's the thing. Whenever I enter a new sort of community of people or group of people, I always end up offending them because I'm just sort of, I don't know, ignorant to the ways, I suppose, when I'm new. If I'm new to something, I'm sort of ignorant to the ways. And the only way I can learn is by asking questions. But unfortunately, obviously, I word things wrong and end up offending people. But I don't think I should be penalised because I've worded something a certain way that's not traditionally offensive, because it's not like I was insulting anyone. It's not like I said, oh, you shouldn't be doing that because, oh, it's messing with nature, and oh, it's unnatural to be transgender, and oh, it's unnatural to trash. It's not. I mean, I could understand them taking offence if I said that. Like I said, oh, maybe you shouldn't be doing it then. You shouldn't have top surgery and you shouldn't be taking testosterone because it's disgusting and oh, it's messing with nature. Like if I said it that way, I could understand that's offensive. See the difference? Me saying, oh, well, I'm not sure I want to do it. Maybe it's not a good idea to mess with nature. As in for me, my body's nature. My nature. Me. Not you, not anybody else, not umbrella statement of all trans people or all a certain race or whatever. I'm not talking about anybody else, I'm talking about me. How is it offensive if I'm talking about me personally and my body? I thought y'all were all about my body, my choice. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? One minute they're all like, oh, everyone should accept everyone and you should have the choice to do this and be this and whatever. But then when I'm sort of talking about me doing it, it's like, oh, no, you're being offensive. Ugh. It's like, I'm talking. You know, I'm just talking. I'm having a conversation. Just because you don't like the word nature or whatever, it's not offensive. Like I say, I said it in a way that was not offensive, but they've just decided to completely turn it around to where it is offensive. Just because I've said it a certain way that they don't like. But I'm not directly insulting them or trans people. I mean, that would be hang on. Kettle calling the pot black or pot calling the kettle black or something. Whatever the saying is, I know it, but I can't think of it right now because I'm so annoyed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm in rant mode now, so I'm going to say things wrong anyway. But I just don't like where I have to, and I even said this to this person, I don't like this whole culture of where you have to walk on eggshells. I just know I'm just educating you in how to talk to trans people. That's the bit that offended me. That's the thing that got my goat, because I'm like, but I'm a trans person. Well, why are you educating me on how to talk to a trans person when I am one myself? And like, well, I'm just informing you just in case, you know, you talk to another trans person so you don't make the same mistake. And I'm like, but and they were like, oh, maybe you should ask them first. Because you know what else he went on about? He went on about the fact that I also mentioned boobs. He didn't. So apparently there's a secret language that trans people talk in. So apparently you're not supposed to call them boobs. So when you're talking to a trans male, you're not supposed to refer to their, if they've got them or had them, as boobs. You're supposed to say chest or something. I'm like, yeah, but chest and boobs are two different things. If I say chest when I mean boobs, how are you going to know when I mean actual chest? Because when some people refer to chest, they think of inside, like the lungs. Like, oh, I'm a bit chesty, I've got a chesty cough, my chest hurts. Now, when I say my chest hurts, I'm not saying my boobs hurt, I'm saying my chest hurts. The bit behind the boobs, the actual thing called the chest. The boobs is not a chest. I know people sometimes do refer to boobs as a chest. Like, here's a context. Okay, so there was this cartoon, kids cartoon as well, and there was this really busty character. And then this other character that said, oh, I dare say she has an enviable chest. Like, sometimes boobs are referred to as a chest, because it is like part of the chest. I understand it's part of the chest, but it's technically not the chest. It is separate. It might be on the chest, but it's still a separate entity, and therefore has a separate title. Boobs or breasts or bust. Exactly, the boob are hanging over the chest. Yeah, I don't think, I know I have to be careful with these people, But I don't think I should have to, especially when I'm entering the community as well. I don't want to go into a community really whereby I have to watch what I say. This is, to be honest with you, I thought people were all about free speech. It's like, on the one hand, people are all about free speech. These very same people, by the way, these social justice warrior types, which I suppose the LGBT community would come under. They would come under sort of the social justice warrior category. Reconnect already. Right, thank you. These interruptions make me lose my train of thought and what I'm trying to say. Thanks for that. I shall never forgive you. Stupid reconnecting. So on the one hand, they're all about free speech and acceptance, but on the next breath, they're all judgmental and saying you can't say this instead of that. Oh, that's offensive. Saying going against nature is offensive. Messing with nature is offensive. Saying boobs is offensive. It's like, what? I understand if it's like, oh, well, you're talking about private parts, so don't call them boobs. Or don't talk about someone's boobs. But first of all, this transgender person actually put a post up talking about how he was getting chest, top surgery to have his boobs lopped off. So he actually talked about his chest first. And second of all, I only brought up boobs because I was trying to ask if testosterone shrinks your boobs. Like in general, I wasn't talking about your boobs, I was talking about in general. Exactly. He was like, you should ask first. Like, what am I supposed to be asking? Like, oh, may I talk about your boobs, please? Like, that, people don't do that. That's not how conversations work. People just talk about stuff, especially if they see that you're talking about it first. So I've just assumed because you're talking about it, that it's okay to talk about it. You're openly in public making a post talking about your boobs and top surgery. So I assumed it was okay to talk about it. But naturally, people don't. It's like when people say you should always ask people's pronouns when you talk to them. People don't talk like that. I'm sorry, but this is reality. In reality, again, as a trans person myself, I am telling you, this is not how people work. This is not how the world works. Maybe it is online or in social justice warrior or LGBT communities specifically, it works that way. But in real life, in everyday life with normal everyday people, people don't ask if it's okay to talk about a certain topic. People don't ask people's pronouns or genders and any other sort of they say this lady this and this lady that. Nobody has ever asked me my pronouns or gender or title or anything like that. I mean, I even ticked Mr. on a form and they call me Mrs. They've assumed I've ticked the wrong title of Mr. So they call me Mrs. instead of saying, oh, I see that you've ticked Mr. Are you sure you meant to tick Mr. or is it really Mrs. but you said the wrong thing? They didn't ask me that. They just proceeded to assume that I've ticked the wrong thing and they call me Mrs. My last name, Mrs. last name, they've called me. They've not asked me, oh, by the way, you've ticked Mr., so does this mean you identify as male? Should I continue calling you Mr.? They've not asked me that. They've just assumed, oh, it must be Mrs. then. She must have ticked the wrong thing because she's got a female name. She looks female, so, she must have ticked it by mistake. Oh, we'll call her Mrs. It's like, that's what they've done. So I'm just informing you, as a trans person who goes around in the real world, you obviously don't. Other trans people obviously don't go around in the real world. They must just stick to their safe spaces, as they call them, where they just hang around with other trans people and LGBT people or social justice people. And they just, they assume that's how the world works. But as a transgender who goes out in the real world and talks to normal people, cisgender people and normal people who are not in these communities, that's not how the world works. They don't ask you your genders. They don't ask you your pronouns. People don't ask if they can talk about your boobs or oh, is it okay if I call them boobs? Like, nobody asks permission. Nobody talks like that in real life. Again, maybe in your social groups they do, in your social circles amongst your group of friends, because you obviously only, like this guy, people like this guy obviously only go around with and talk to people of his own ilk. Again, the social justice warrior community, the trans people community, the LGBT community, and, you know, the like, you know, just a sort of, I don't know what you call it really, like the people call it like the liberal, I don't know what the proper umbrella term is for the whole thing. I just call them social justice warrior types, but you know what I mean. They're very PC. Libtards and liberal Karens, yes, that's the one. So I guess this person is a sort of what they would call a libtard, because they're saying you can't say this. I don't want to hang around with people like that, really. I don't want to talk to people who are going to limit my vocabulary. I'm going to have to sort of walk on eggshells and watch what I say around. I shouldn't have to, though. I mean, I suppose there's nothing wrong with anything like this, but I don't think anybody should have to watch what they say around certain people. Like I say, it just contradicts the whole premise of this whole free speech that everyone goes on about, and this acceptance for all thing. It's like, well, I want acceptance. I'm a person who wants to actually talk freely and say certain words, unless they're actual insults. I mean, I understand people obviously wanting you to watch yourself when saying actual insults. Like, don't swear at someone, don't call someone an insulting name. I understand that. Like, you know, if I go, oh, you bastard or something, you know. It's like, if I do that, that's offensive. Oh, you fucker, or you big fucking stupid, you know, whatever. Like, actually calling you a name or saying something in an offensive way. Like, now, don't take this as literal, me really saying this, but I'm going to say it now as an example. So remember, this is an example. But this is just to show you the difference between an actual offensive line and an innocent line, what I actually said. Okay, so this is the actual offensive thing that I could have said that I would understand completely if someone got offended. Well, you shouldn't be doing that to your body. It's against nature. You're sick and disgusting. You shouldn't be doing it. It's not natural. That's offensive. But I just said, oh, well, I'm not sure if I want to do it. If it shortens your life, I mean, it's a little bit risky, you know. It's maybe it's not a good idea to go against nature. Again, referring to me. Maybe it's not a good idea for me to go against nature. My body's nature. You see what I mean? That's not offensive. But apparently, according to this trans person, that is offensive, because they have assumed, oh, it's not natural for someone who's born this way to transition to this. It's like, I'm not saying that. That would be offensive if I said that. But I'm obviously not saying that. That's what pisses me off about these people. And I'm not saying any of this to sort of gain acceptance or anything like that. I'm trying to educate people. The point of these rants, these streams, these videos is to educate people. To make people aware that they can't just assume things about you. I've made videos about this, about the dog, where someone has seen my dog and assumed that it's being neglected. And I'm like, without knowing the full situation, you can't judge a situation or a person. And, you know, the age-old saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover. But people don't take any notice to that. People are judging me all the time by the way I talk, by the way I look, by the way my dog looks, by what I've said about trans people. Like, if I'm one as well, surely that's not offensive anyway. Because they're always saying, well, if a black person says this, it's okay. But if a white person says the same thing, it's not okay. Which is stupid, by the way. But it's like the same thing. If I'm saying it, like I've said, I'm gone against nature or whatever. Surely that's okay, because I am a trans person myself, and I'm just telling you it's my choice. I don't want to do it. As in, I don't want to mess with my body's nature and put testosterone in it if it's going to A, shorten my life, and B, fuck up my body's chemistry, my brain's chemistry, so on and so forth, and shorten my life. That's my body, my choice. I'm a trans person, so it should be okay for me to say that, because I'm talking about myself, my choices, not your choices, not a blanket statement about all trans people going against nature. I've not said that. That's what annoys me. It annoys me when people assume things or infer things that are not there. And I'm trying to educate other morons who think that they're social justice warriors. And, oh yes, you're not allowed to say this and that and the other. That it's just stupid. There's technical terms, there's scientific terms. Like they're saying you can't say boobs when referring to a trans male. It's like, that's stupid. I'm not saying chest. I'm not walking on got boobs. You can't sort of, pretend you haven't got them. I mean, you can. But I'm not going to, unless you specifically come to me and say, oh, pretend I haven't got boobs, pretend they're invisible, call it a chest. It's like, what am I supposed to do then when I actually want to talk about your boobs because it's a specific thing? Like, how did you shrink your boobs? Did the testosterone shrink your boobs? Because I want to know, because I want to know if it'll work for me. But I also want to know the risks, which you've told me. You haven't told me if they've shrank your boobs, though, so thanks for the information that I wanted not. Because maybe if you'd have told me what I wanted to know, I can make an informed decision as to whether I want to take testosterone. Because if someone told me, oh yes, testosterone does shrink your boobs, I'll be all over that shit. But then in the next breath, he says, oh, but it shortens your life. But didn't actually tell me if it shrinks your boobs or not. I'm like, well, thanks for that. So I can't make an informed decision now, but you're judging me on the fact that I've asked about boobs. Well, yeah, I mean, when you're texting, it's kind of hard to sort of, sometimes you can infer something different when you're texting. Probably, perhaps if that same trans person saw this video, maybe they'd understand more what I was trying to say. I mean, I did word it the best I could. I pretty much worded it the same, but obviously this person has just thought I was being further in, because I did say to this person, I don't want to walk on eggshells, and I do think it's ridiculous that I'm not allowed to say boobs. It's like, is it in the term of private parts? Like, you're not allowed to refer to private parts, like in the dark ages when people were funny about talking about boobs and funny about talking about vaginas and funny about talking about sex. So I kind of sarcastically said that to him. I was like, oh yes, are you talking about the fact that, oh, people don't like to talk about private parts like in the old days? So I guess that she took offense at that too, but I actually kind of was being a little bit sarcastic there. I was being a bit funny. Just because I think, like I say, it offended me when he was saying, oh, you should not talk to you shouldn't use that term when talking to a transgender person, and oh, I'm just educating you so that, if you talk to a transgender, it was a little bit condescending, like talking down to me, like I've already let you know I'm trans, so why are you talking to me like I'm an idiot, like I'm a normie, like I'm a non-trans person. Just a person who doesn't know anything about it, about the whole thing. And like, oh yes, thanks for letting me know. Now I know how to talk to you people. Any kind of people at all. Like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's not how you talk to humans. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. Right, well, in future, and now I know. So when I talk to human beings, I won't say da 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 da. It's like you're treating me like I'm not one of you, and that's also not okay. You're treating me like I'm an alien from another planet who's never talked to humans before, and I'm saying and doing the wrong things in front of humans. Like, oh, maybe I go up to someone and maybe I sniff their butt or something, and they're like, oh no, you don't do that with humans. Oh, go away. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that's what you did. Can you see? It's like that sort of thing. If you don't situation deeper, don't make assumptions. Don't know situation deeper. still said it. And that's one of those situations where I can't comment more until it's clear telling it like that. Ha ha ha. It's just kind of, it just irked me a little that, you know, I've just told you I'm one of you, and you're sort of blatantly telling me that, oh, you shouldn't talk to a fellow person like that, a fellow transgender person like that. It's like, but I'm not actually saying anything offensive. I said the word boobs and I said the word nature. How's that offensive exactly? But they've just got like this secret language, all this secret, oh, refrain from using these words and refer. It's like, I mean, you can't say it's really new to it, really, like new to the community. The whole concept is new to me, as in the language is new. Because I've been transgender since I was 12. So that was like a million years ago. So it's not like I'm really new to that community. But the community has changed, as in there's now a language, as in a language you're not supposed to use. And it's like, that's new to me. But like I say, he's talking to me like, oh, I'm new to it and I'm informing you, as in me. He's saying, I'm informing you. And it's like, yeah, he was very polite about it. But at the same time, he's acting like I'm new to it, the community. But I'm not really, because I've been like this since I was 12. It's just that I've had sort of like a break, if you will. Like a phase where I decided to just, you know, be my biological sex and just go along with that identity for a bit, even though I wasn't entirely happy. Which is why I've now come to a conclusion which may make it look like I'm new to the community. It makes it look like that because now I've come to the conclusion that I am more happy being trans male. And it's, you know, it's taken me all these years to sort of fully accept that and come out properly as that, as trans male, identifying as male and also gender fluid as well. I mean, I've always been gender fluid, even when I'd accepted myself as a girl as my main identity, like to the world, including my mum and whatnot. I've still always considered myself gender fluid because I have a male persona as well, or fursona, which is Jeremiah, as you know. But I don't, you know, I've not like gone around telling people that. It's just like I know it, and that's all that matters. I've not felt like really like I've had to explain myself to people. But now I suppose if I'm identifying as male and I want that to come across, I do have to sort of explain myself more to people, and it is hard. But then to actually talk to other trans people and for them to be kind of condescending to me and talking to me like, oh, you're ignorant, you know, it's just a bit rude. And this is like, it is new to me. So not the world of transgender, but the world of this new lingo and this new way of this community being, which is very PC, very liberal, very, like I say, social justice warrior-esque. That's new. Because we didn't have this lingo. People asked me, you know, stuff, and they asked me if I was they asked me if I was a tomboy, because they were seeing how it was. So they were ignorant. You could say they were ignorant. I could get offended for them at mislabeling me. It's a label. I'm a tomboy, isn't it? So they mislabeled me and called me a tomboy. I could have got pissed off at that, and I did get pissed off. I did really used to get offended when people referred to me as a girl, or, you know, like I say, misgendered me. I used to get really upset. I didn't know the word transgender, or the word, the sort of term, oh, I identify as male. I'm identifying as male. That's my identity. I didn't have that lingo. So it was hard to explain to them. But I said, no, I'm not a tomboy. I just want to be a boy. I'm being a boy. Like, I didn't say, oh, I want to be a boy, or I'm pretending to be a boy, because that didn't sound right either. It's like, I am a boy. I want to be a boy. I'm living as a boy. So that's all I could say. That was my lingo back then. That's all I said. Because I was 12. It's like, you know, the olden days back in the early 2000s. So it's like, you know. Let me think what year it was probably. Hang on. So I think I was 9 when it was when the new millennium happened. So 2000. I think I was 9. It's 10, 1, 11, 2000 fucking 3 or some shit. I don't know. 2 or 3, 4. It's like really, really. I mean, that's like considered the olden days now, isn't it? The early 2000s. It was really the early 2000s. And people were liberal back then. I mean, people were all accepting back then, but you just didn't, it wasn't so obsessed with all these things, these minorities like they are now, like where they have a certain lingo that you have to use and a certain lingo you can't use, certain words you can't use. It's like they didn't have, it wasn't PC back then, but it was accepting in the early 2000s. I mean, they didn't scoff at me or judge me when I told these people that I want to be a boy. I mean, the most people did was, oh, I don't know why you want to be a boy. Being a girl is better. You know, like people did try and sort of tell me that, you know, I shouldn't want to be a boy. Oh, you don't want to be a boy. You know, being a girl is better. You know, girl power. Oh, girls rule. And it's like people did say that to me. I remember. I was like, what age was I? I can't remember. Yeah, I must have been 12 or 13 or something. I was probably more like 13, actually. Yeah. Trying to convince me that being a girl was better and being a boy was shit. So, yeah. No, I haven't had my dinner yet. Oh. So that was the most I got. So yeah, people were judgmental. I think things were probably better back then. People were just more like, people were probably more ignorant about it, but accepting. Ignorant but accepting. But not ignorant in a really annoying way. It was kind of annoying for me, like having to explain myself, because I wanted to be accepted as male, so I didn't like having to explain my deal, especially because I didn't fully understand it myself. All I knew was I wanted to be a male, and I sort of accepted myself as male. And I'm like, why can't these people? Why do I have to explain myself? And I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that I had to explain myself because I should just be accepted as a male. As in, they accepted me. They were nice about it. They weren't offensive. They weren't non-accepting in an offensive way. They didn't accept me as a boy, as in they didn't understand. They didn't understand why I wanted to be male because they're not in my head. They don't feel how I feel. So therefore they're ignorant, but not in an annoying way, technically. But to me, it was annoying because in my mind, I'm like, just accept I'm a boy. Don't question me. Just accept what I'm saying to you, that I want to be a boy. Just treat me as a boy, because that's what I want. More than anything, at the time, this is what I really wanted. And I kind of want it now. I really want it now, because people don't accept me as a boy. Because, you know, they just see my long hair and they see my sort of semi-girly clothes in their eyes, and they think, you know, they just assume I'm a girl. I don't look convincing as a male. I did back then when I was a kid. You know, I had just very short hair, and as a kid, you're sort of gender neutral in your looks anyway. Like you don't, like all kids have soft features, so you have boys with soft features, obviously, because both male and female had soft features. So, but the unfortunate part was they knew I was female only because my mum, you know, I mean, these particular people that I'm talking about now actually knew me when I was a girl, so they already knew I was a girl, for sure. and then suddenly I changed to looking like a lad. So in their minds, they just still see me as female, even though I look like a male, because they just know, because of my mum, as usual. And new people that we did meet, my mum would not go along with it, so she would tell them that I was her daughter and call me a she and a her and girl and my name, which is a girl's name. So it's like, so people would know I was a girl. So even though I looked convincing as a male, because of my mum, she kind of ruined it for me. She sabotaged me, really. And now I don't have that problem because I don't go out with my mum anymore. And sort of when she stopped, so I started sort of making friends on my own outside. And I used to talk to the kids, and I used to tell them I was male because they used to ask me, even though I looked like a male, they'd obviously heard at some, from somebody that I was a girl, like a girl lives there or something. So I started telling them, if they asked me, because they weren't sure, I told them I was male, but they didn't actually sort of believe me, really. So my mum didn't sabotage me then. She was nowhere to be seen. She was in the house and I was talking to these people. So they got annoyed with me because they didn't believe me that I was male, and that pissed them off for some reason. They got upset by the fact that, I guess they somehow thought I was lying, I suppose. And they would actually talk about me right there in front of me, like debating with each other as to whether I was male or female. One of the things was, oh, is it a male or is it female? Well, it must be male because it's got hairy legs. It's like they were actually talking about me like that right in front of me. Like, I'm right here. I've actually told you. Me, the source, the person you're talking about. When you asked me, I actually told you. But you don't believe me, and you're just talking about me as if I'm not there. It's like kind of rude. Yes, okay. But it kind of satisfied me, like it made me happy when they said, oh, it must be a boy because it's got hairy legs. We're calling me an it. I'm not really sure if they call. So this man, it was really funny, this. So me and my mum used to go for dog walks, and there was this man that started talking to my mum about the dog, and I was still looking like a girl back then, and he hugged me. I was about 14 or something, and he hugged me. And my mum was like ahead of, and was like, looked back and saw that this man was hugging me. And then like a year later or something, we met the same man at Asda, outside Asda, the car park, and we're about to go home. And I looked very convincing as a boy. I was wearing my suit. I had my short hair. I was a kid, so I looked like a male. I had the generic gender fluid look, so was able to be convincing as a boy. And this man came, that same man, and he was really like very interested in me even as a boy. And my mum went along with it because he kept calling me a boy, like boy name things. I don't know. I can't remember what he said. Like, oh, you're a good lad or whatever. He kept saying like you're a good lad or something. You're a good boy. He kept saying that like over and over again. I was like, I was really happy about it. And then my mum went along with it, so I was like, yes. I was really happy about this conversation, even though this guy was creepy because he's very interested in me and he was like so close to me. But I was really happy because him and my mum were like going along with me being a boy. He thought I was a boy, like genuinely. But then my mum went, oh, actually, she's a girl. And I was like, so I did get offended. And then the other thing that was really annoying about this situation of my mum confessing to the guy that I was a girl was that as soon as she said that, he fucking pinned me up against the fucking glass of Asda. He was like this, literally. He was like that. It was like a switch. He was like, really? So let's reenact it. So this is the bloke, right? Actually, this is my mum. Actually, she's a girl. And he's like, really? You want me now? Literally. She ruined it for 2 reasons. One is that pissed me off because I was enjoying. She brought out the creep in him even more. that was really, I was really pissed off, as you can imagine. Well, we've got to hurry now because my mum is going to be pissed. I think she's awake, I can hear. She's going to be, oh, I know I made it ages ago, why didn't you followed up yet, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do it now real quick. Uh-oh, it's actually still warm. Shit, I'm putting it on cold plates and all. I thought maybe this was probably cold by now, so I've got to make sure it's 2 meals. Okay. So yeah, that was kind of annoying. Sorry about this, guys. Bear with me. I've not even dried it because I'm just like in a rush. I'm getting a headache. Oh shit. Ew, what's wet? Oh yeah, we got a new microwave oven thing. There you go, you can look at the deck. It's freezing now. Gotta go. Just get one of these. Goat's milk. Appetizing goat's milk. Goat's milk is better. Oh, burp. Crunch. It's not called a pan crunch. Is it on? Oh, for God's sake. Right. It's really late now, so I'm gonna go and get changed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to see. So I have a coffee as well. You can donate to that, which is coffee.com/Jeremiah and patreon.com/RoyalRoseWolf, because I've lost Patreons, so I don't know why. I'm always updating my content on there, so I don't. As for the rewards, they never ask me for their what's it requests, their custom requests, so that's on them. That's not really my fault, is it? Yeah, I went from 14 Patreons to 8. So that's quite a big loss. So please, sorry, I'm freezing. So please subscribe to that as well. Of course, she ruined it. Scary as. Can't keep a straight face for 5 minutes, can she? The Daily Wine. Was that bloke pervert Trevor? No, it wasn't. That is good news. Anyway, I'll see you later.